And I just wanted to add on, we have an introduction to reading register, and SB was on her way. SB, there she is. So glad you could make it. All right, so I'm Shelley Kloba, and I am proud to serve as your legislative director. I work with a big team of region legislative chairs to help members speak up for children. And our job isn't to tell you what to do or say or think. It's to give you the tools that you need to speak with a powerful voice on behalf of children. And to help you identify which issues are going to be key for promoting children's health and well-being. So before moving on, I want to see how many, raise your hand if you are a newcomer. Have you ever been to Focus before? If not, raise your hand. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And now, how many of you have already thought about and know what you want to tell your legislators? Okay, good. Excellent. How many of you are expecting us to tell you what to say? That's fine. It absolutely is, because your presence alone speaks volumes for you. Okay. So once again, here we are, ready to say that improving and funding basic education is Washington State PTA's top priority, and most of our legislative advocacy is around that very topic. But we understand that you came here today with things that are important to you, and the unique needs of the children in your community are forefront in your mind. And in addition to that, the needs of the children across the state. And so I know that you're going to be speaking to all of those. So I want to walk you through our packet just a little bit. There are a couple things I want to highlight. So on your right side, there are 3 leave behind cards. There's these yellow ones, and they say, make the hard choices. It takes our top priorities and sort of summarizes them into some certain themes. And on the back side, you'll notice it's blank, where you can write the message that resonates with you and what you came here to say, what you're passionate about. And make sure you put your contact information there as well. Your legislators want to stay in contact with you. They want to send newsletters to you. They need to know who you are, where you're from, and how to contact you again. So when you make sure you leave behind 1 card for each of your representatives and 1 for your senator. Okay? It shows that you were there, and it shows that you're expecting them to vote on behalf of the kids. Also in the packet, you'll find a brochure, and this has our 2013 legislative platform. You can refer back to it. You can educate yourself on it. It really has a great summary on the front of the main themes. On the inside, we've got our top 5 and the thumbnail sketch of what each of those is about. And then on the back, we have the issues that we are also supporting that are a little less second or a little more secondary, but all of them are important. So this comes from our grassroots. People like you decided we need to have this on our platform, and they put it forward and went through that process. So this doesn't come from the top down. This is what our members have said. This is important to us. So, so you can. There are some more of those extras in the back of the room. If you feel like you are, if you'd like to leave one for your legislator, you can certainly do that. Okay. So the other part. This is the other part. This is your sort of your homework after you've done your assignment today. This one that was on the left-hand side, it says, how did it go? What we're looking for is just, I visited with Senator so-and-so, and he was very amenable to, or he had some concerns about this issue. Whatever it is, just a quick little summary of what you said, even just to let us know that we had a member that contacted the legislator. Ramona is going to be able to use that information as she follows up and contacts them as well. And in particular, if you have a question that the legislator asks you and you don't know the answer, you can either try to find out yourself and respond back to them, or put the question on here, and we have a box or something below that.
That box, I will be here in the afternoon.
Okay.
Just leave it on the table, add it to me. I'll be here.
Yeah, so bring it back here or give it to somebody who's coming back here so that we can collect this, because we've got all these boots on the ground and you're collecting little pieces of intelligence about what our legislators are thinking and feeling about our issues. And it's important to gather all that information back in one place. So, does everybody understand that ask? Okay, all right, thank you. That will be very helpful. Okay. Now, I printed out some of my own remarks, and I gotta find them because I know they're right. Okay, so here's the juicy part. Tips for talking to your legislators, because it can be fun, and sometimes it's very interesting. So, first off, if there is no meeting currently scheduled with your legislators, we still want you to go to their office. We still want you to drop off your leave behind cards. If you have an opportunity to have a little chat with their legislative aide, don't think that that's some sort of second-class citizen. That is the legislator's eyes and ears, and they will report, oh, people from the PTA came to visit us today, and here's what they left. Okay, so definitely treat that as if you would meet with the legislator. You probably have to keep it pretty brief because they are very busy. Okay, so if you have the opportunity to meet with your legislator, here are some do's and don'ts. Now, a lot of us are moms and dads, we tell our children this, but I really have to reinforce, don't be rude. Sometimes we're talking about hot-button issues and emotions can pop to the surface, but saying that, oh, well, I voted for your opponent, or threatening that, well, if you don't vote for this bill, I'm not, whatever your big threat is going to be. That doesn't usually work too well. And a lot of you are wearing your PTA scarves. It doesn't reflect well on us. So be sure that you are polite. And even if your legislator is on the opposite side of an issue from where you are, you never know. The next issue, they may be your staunchest allies. So really, it never pays to burn any bridges. So be polite, and hopefully that will come back to you. Second thing is, don't be late. Respect their time, and also, you're typically only going to have 15 minutes to meet with the legislators, so you want to make sure you have the time to get all your points spoken to. Do mention what PTA you represent, and approximately, if you know the ballpark, how many members you have, because it's important for you to understand you are not just here speaking for you, you represent a constituency, and you are leaders in your community. Those are the kind of people that our legislators want to talk to, because they know that if they tell you something, you're going to spread it, okay? Try to make a good impression, and know that they're going to be trying to make a good impression on you. Definitely follow up. So if you've done just a drive-by, dropped off your materials, a couple days later, follow up with a, hey, I enjoyed seeing your office. You can ask them an open-ended questions. What issues did you think were important? Or which issues resonated? Where can we count on your support? Okay. If you have any questions that you found the answers to, you can report those back when you follow up. Just make sure that you use Focus Day as the first step of establishing your relationship with the legislator, and your follow-up will be that second step to really cement that relationship. And be realistic is something I want you to do. Be willing willing to discuss more than one side of an issue and know that, the cliches, Rome was not built in a day, and sometimes it takes a while to get issues passed. And also, you're not always going to see eye to eye with the legislator. Know that that's going to happen, and don't let it run. Some of you are going to visit your legislators in groups. Do I have a show of hands? Who's coming with like a couple other people for an appointment to visit their legislator? Okay. So planning ahead is going to help your meeting go smoothly. You may want to have just 15 minutes of prep time. Decide who's speaking and in what order, and who's going to cover what of the talking points. Figure that in a 15-minute meeting, your legislator is going to talk a little bit, and you'll have introductions, and that's going to probably eat up about 5 minutes. So you have 10 minutes to kind of get in there and talk about it and get it done. We have what's in the packets, but feel free to personalize it with your own stories. Remember that you all are the experts when it comes to how public policy affects your child, your school, and your community. And you're their eyes and ears, and you need to bring that perspective and that information to the legislators. So you're going to start your meeting by quickly introducing yourselves, and then give each of your designated speakers, if you have more than a couple, a few minutes to make their point. So, when I said that sometimes talking to legislators can be interesting, here are a few scenarios that may come up. So, number one, what happens if your legislator wants to do all of the talking, and it's often about him or herself? You're going to want to just gently interrupt and say, we appreciate your history as a school teacher, but we'd like to make sure and cover our issues, and we'll hope that you'll support whatever your issue was that you were talking about when they interrupted you. So gently steer it back to where you were going, and don't let the legislator dominate. Related to that, what if the legislator wants to talk about something that is not on your list? Maybe they've got some pet project that's related to education, or maybe it's not. Again, gently interrupt and direct the discussion back to your talking points. While we all find, Senator, that chicken husbandry is a fascinating topic, really interested in talking about issue X, Y, and Z with the limited time we have with you today. Okay, so don't be afraid to gently interrupt and redirect. What if your legislator completely disagrees with your issue? It happens. Now, don't get mad, don't get discouraged, and please don't resort to name calling or threatening to sick Jason. Not that, he couldn't be effective in some fashion. You could say something like, I appreciate your honesty with sharing that view. I can see that we disagree on this matter. I do hope that we'll be able to continue this conversation over the course of the session, so at least we'll be able to come to an understanding of each other's perspectives. Okay? So it neutralizes it. It says it's okay to disagree. Let's keep talking. Now, this one is one of my favorites because it happened when, as a state PTA, we went to the federal level to lobby our congresspeople. And we were asking for an item that would be an increased budget item. And the legislator said something like, well, in these tough financial times, we just can't afford what you are proposing. So if we fund that, what would you like me to cut? Ouch. So that's a tough one because we are not about hitting one group against another for a limited budget. And the direction that I got from our federal policy folks was to say something to the effect of, the Washington State PTA is not in the business of analyzing a multi-billion-dollar budget. What we're about is kids and what is best for their future. All we are asking is that you keep kids at the forefront and let their future be the filter through which you make these difficult decisions. Okay? We are not in the business of analyzing your big budget. Okay, so back to the rest of our story. We mentioned that we have the feedback forms to drop off, and I just wanted to go over. Pardon?
Please do.
Yes, yeah, bring those back. And then here is your agenda. So in here at 11 o'clock, which is, I don't have a watch on it anymore, about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes, okay. About 20 minutes, we have a discussion on positive behavior interventions and support, and that'll be right here. Oh, and Ramona has to be changed, so I'm gonna let her take it. And actually, before I do that, I just, from a housekeeping perspective, I don't know if this is later on in the script, but there is a single stall bathroom down the hall that direction. But if you